What if leads weren't the problem? So often people think that they're not getting enough opportunities in their business, and that's why they aren't making the money they want. When the truth of the matter is, they are not leading their buyer to the next step in the sales process effectively. In today's day and age, we call that the sales funnel. In this video, we are going to cover how to design a sales funnel that converts and scales with corporate clients. So I'm LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement, accompanied by
Cheryl Parks.
And in this video, before we dive into this, I feel like we have to lay the foundation and talk about an inbound sales process. So inbound is the opposite of outbound. When we think of inbound versus outbound sales processes are where you are doing outreach or you're prospecting, and you might find a list of 10 buyers and you're reaching out to them to build value and make deposits to convert them into a conversation. An inbound sales process comes from maybe you're speaking, you're holding events, you're publishing insights, or someone has referred a client to you, and so they are coming to you, right? You're attracting them in, you're pulling them in with your insights and your reputation. And I find that as we coach women entrepreneurs in the Big Money Movement, we have so many clients we work with who are well positioned. They've paid their dues, they've published their insights, they've established thought leadership, they've done good work, so they're attracting referrals, but they have a poor inbound sales process, meaning that they're leaving opportunities on the table because they don't have an effective sales funnel. So when you think about your inbound sales process, you want to think about when someone is intrigued and curious about doing business with me, where am I driving them to? And when they get there, what are the action steps that they should be taking, right? And so I don't spill the beans here. I'm going to pass it over to Cheryl.
Sure.
Let's talk about it.
So the key is that you mentioned where are you driving traffic to? So you may have numerous types of events that you find yourself engaged in, whether it be an event, a speaking engagement, a podcast, any of the things, even how you show up on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. You'll always want to start at the beginning. I can tell you this because I learned this the hard way. You don't want to start in the middle of a process with a prospect, because you need to be able to replicate the process each and every time. And that's when you'll know you're getting really good. You'll see the rhythm of getting good, or if you've got holes, you'll see that as well. Yeah. So you want to know where you're driving them to. Where do they start? How do they do business with you? Again, consider it sales like dating. If someone wants to get in touch with you, do you like text messaging or do you like phone calls? Mm-hmm. Okay, for purposes of this, you want phone calls. You want conversations. You want live conversations where you can be asking questions of your buyer. They can be answering. And when you get an answer, if you need to take it deeper, you have the ability to do that. That's why live conversations work well. Yes. Versus anything else where there's time, right? Mm-hmm. The time commitment may or may not be there. Mm-hmm. And there's lost interest. You know, we're all a little bit distracted. Things happen, things come up. So that conversation, that planned, scheduled conversation is where you want to be. So that's the first place you want to start. Anything else?
You know, I think one of the things I love to say is, like, if you're not having conversations with executive buyers, you're not bringing in revenue. You know, so when we talk about consulting and landing corporate clients, to your point, that bridge is a conversation. You know, so in today's day and age, not yet. You know, your executive buyer isn't swiping a six-figure contract for consulting without having a conversation, laying down expectations, making sure there's an alignment around the transformation. And so to your point, knowing that that conversation has to happen, how are you making sure that however a buyer engages or interacts with your brand, that they see the next step is to book that conversation? Right. And I think we can give, you know, some real world examples. So let's say that I host a lunch and learn. Mm-hmm. And during this lunch and learn, I have my buyers there, my ideal audience. So my call to action for that might be, you know, if you're curious about how we would tailor our approach to help you achieve X for your business, we'd be happy to jump on a conversation to share insights, right? And you're giving them, that CTA of the conversation. Or to your point, on your LinkedIn profile, when you are optimizing your LinkedIn profile, in the About section, in the Experience section, make sure that you're giving them that call to action of, you can book a call with me here at this link, or you can contact me directly at this email or phone number. And so that way you're educating the buyer on that next step. So you want to have the conversation, but the power of a funnel, I feel like, is the nurture that you can do with technology, right? And so you can leverage technology to your benefit to prime that buyer for that conversation. Here's an example of what I mean by that. So I might have a lunch and learn, and my call to action might be, go to scheduleacall.com now to schedule that call with me, right? So on that page, I might have logos of blue chip clients that I've worked with. I might have a photo. I might have insights. I might have value-driven, messaging or copy there that speaks to the problem that I solve and when clients engage us, right? So as they're scheduling that conversation, as they're scheduling it, there's other content on the page that is just further making deposits of value and engaging their psychology to say, this is a great decision that I'm making, right? So then, and I also might have a form on that page. And so for them to book a call, I might want to know their job title, the company that they work for, what's their greatest challenge that they have right now, what's their phone number, right? So I'm collecting information automatically. Then after they book that call, it might take them to a thank you page, right? So it's the next page in the sequence. And let's say on that thank you page, there's a video of me. And it's like, hey, I'm Liz, founder of Stimulus. I'm so thrilled that we're going to have a conversation. And I might speak to, we work with clients who, are dealing with this problem. We find this status quo, and I might speak to the status quo, and I might give them tidbits for how to capture the most value from their conversation with me. Again, making deposits to make them feel good about the fact that they're going to earn value simply in a conversation with me, right? Then that's the thank you page, and it might add them to my email list, right? And so they might get an email that confirms, yes, you've scheduled this call at this time. That email might have another version of that thank you video, or that email might have a case study of a client that we work with, right? So, and I might have a series of emails. So there's all of these things, these touches that happen even before they have a conversation with me, so that by the time they come to the conversation, they feel confident in my social proof, in the transformation that we create for clients, the other clients that we've worked with. And so it just really primes the energy for that conversation. And it increases the odds that they'll show up. So yes.
And highly likely go to the next step
Right.
once they have the conversation, because now they've done all their due diligence, so to speak, with everything that you've provided to get them to that call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this makes me think of one of our clients who had worked one-to-one with buyers. And so she was coaching executives. And one of her greatest challenges was when she was trying to scale that. And she was trying to create a group program for group leaders. And, she put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. There was a lot of disappointment because she found that it just wasn't landing. And for her, what it was that helped her tweak it was we realized it was really the messaging. It is so important that as you scale efforts and you create funnels, that the messaging is on point. The way you go from one-to-one and one-to-many is to know your buyers so well that even before they have an interaction with you personally, that all of your brand content just affirms exactly what's in their head. Like, they should read your copy and say, you know what? Oh my gosh, that is exactly what we're dealing with. Like, you must work with other clients like us for you to know this so well.
That is such a key point. Your buyer wants to be, the know, like, and trust factor wants to be really confident that even speaking to you for 15 minutes, 20 minutes is not a waste of their time.
Yes. You have to earn the conversation. It's like, earning the first date. It's like, the first date is special, but there's still some work you have to do to get them to say yes and see the value in that. I love it. Speaking of sales being a little bit like dating, in this next video, we're going to talk about how to put a ring on it with 4 tips to close sales with corporate clients. Click that next video and we'll see you there.